Yeah, bro. He went 0 dark 30 after high school. He was like, I don't mess with none of y'all. I don't want nothing to do with any of you guys. I think he went to Georgia though.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in Georgia. I think I had a class with him. Like, so
Oh.
occasionally saw him.
And he was
But like, I mean, I played basketball with him, and he was good at basketball. I mean,
Yeah.
he played pickup. He's just good at like.
he wasn't good enough for Jones Creek.
Which he definitely was. I just think. I don't know.
I don't even know, bro. I don't know.
I mean, shit. I made the team, and I was kind of ass.
All right. Well, we're back here on that note. We're back, and this is part 3, and we're still working. You know, working titles, everything. I'm a working man. I keep on trying to figure stuff out. But I want to talk to you about something that you hate talking about, and I love talking to you about because you don't like it. Let's talk about them feelings, dog.
Feelings. All right. What do you want to talk about?
Why you getting defensive already, bro?
I-
Why your
I
hands
asked-
crossed?
I asked a
Relax,
question.
dog. You seem like you on trial, bro. Relax. Let your shoulders loose. Let your hair down. As someone who was in a relationship for a really long time, when it came to how you felt in your feelings, did you feel as though your significant other, I don't even want to call her that, do you feel as though that demonic creature that you call the girlfriend really took your feelings into account whenever, something came up?
I mean, sometimes, but for the people that know me, I'm pretty easygoing. Like, for me to, get upset about something that's actually meaningful, other than...
Can we just make it side note? I remember one of the first times I ever met this man, he threw a PlayStation or Xbox controller at a wall.
What? When was that?
Yeah, bro, when I was at your house in the dungeon and we were playing FIFA. Oh, no, that wasn't you. That was
freaking
Jake Landry at your house.
Yeah.
Who threw your controller?
And broke my... I was like, bro, first of all, I don't even think I invited you to my graduation party. This nigga just, pulled up and broke one of my controllers.
One of your controllers at your house? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Continue.
He's just mad because I used to smoke you in FIFA.
You did. But now I'd run you under the table. It's not even a fair fight. But continue. When you're an easygoing guy, that's where you left off.
Yeah, so for something to really cause me to be, upset.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't really happen often. It was more so reacting, trying to help someone else out. Because I feel like a lot of people said I'm a good listener. And so when I can sit, think about a situation, I can normally come up with something to say, to help them out.
But so I don't know how you just said pertains to your feelings, but let's try to tie it back.
Okay.
How does that pertain to your situation? How you felt as though maybe sometimes you didn't feel listened to in your feelings, or did you always feel listened to in your feelings? I'm trying to. I've never been in a relationship for very good reason, so I want to understand what that's like. Your personal experiences. If you feel as though you were being listened to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely was listened to, but I think just the way that I grew up after, my parents' divorce, mom was always working hard, and so I kind of did everything on my own. So the way I dealt with stress and, kind of processing my feelings, I kept everything kind of bottled up and worked through it on my own because that's just, what I had to do. And I feel like that has translated into my relationships.
Yeah.
So I won't open up, in places where, I necessarily need to.
Yeah.
Because one, I don't want to rely on someone else, for help when I believe I can do it by myself.
Do you believe that is a healthy way to combat?
I won't even let you,
I'm not gonna let you
finish that. No.
Okay. And so obviously you don't believe that's a healthy way, but what do you think? And it's easier to profess than to actually follow through. What do you think is a healthy way of dealing with this, these emotions that you have?
I mean, anyway, in a relationship, it comes down to communication. That's where, when there's a breakdown of communication in any relationship,
nicely.
Yes, very nicely. There needs to be effective communication, and if both parties are not willing to be open, and they just beat around the bush, or they don't want to, have any confrontation, that's when things start to go south. So if you have open lines of, communication on both fronts, I think that's where. That's where you see things succeed.
Blossom.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though, and sometimes, I want to say that our emotional languages, and maybe not just between men and women, but everyone has a different emotional language. Do you feel as though that maybe some of the issue is there's a loss in translation of, when I'm angry, when I'm sad, these feelings that I'm having. I might not be able to communicate them to you, but I also don't feel as though you're meeting me halfway in those things.
Oh yeah, 100%. So it's been so long since I've taken a psych class, but I think there's like all those different lines of language.
I've never taken a psych. I build buildings. I in rivers and roads. And
Okay, so
public
there's
projects.
like listening, verbal,
psych.
body. I can't remember what the other ones are.
I do care about psych. I don't want to say that because all people will get angry.
Can't hate on them. So to be an effective communicator, I think listening is huge, and I don't think people listen enough.
Okay.
They just want to hear themselves speak. And so if you can listen, soak in what they're saying, and try to process and understand it and view it from their, point of view, which you can't do perfectly because you can't feel other people's feelings. But, come up with some type of strategy that suits that person and, eases them. I think that's where if you kind of fine tune, it's not a blanket, cookie cutter style form. You need to understand how the person ticks and, come up with a situation, that helps them process stuff.
Okay. And oh, sweet baby Jesus. Moving forward, if you had any advice as a man, all right, and you wanted to speak to other men and maybe women who want to listen, what would you say? And for everyone, it's different, right? What would you say is the fundamental piece of information you'd give for people, whether they're in relationships or in friendships, that needs to be there for feelings to feel as though they matter?
I mean, definitely don't hide them. I feel like it's such a man thing where it's, looked down upon to, share feelings. I don't know if you covered that in your, kind of PSA.
I didn't.
But it's not masculine, to talk about your feelings. And that's just so detrimental to mental health. I think it's like depression, women, they're always, oh, okay, process it this way. And then sometimes they tell men, suck it up.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy, in whatever manner. And
that's why people be shooting up schools.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, if you look at school shooters, I want to say high percentage is male.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely men. And
yeah. Violent crimes usually perpetrated by men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't. And I believe it has something to do with feelings, emotions. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, all the blowing and there's gnats everywhere.
Friggin' the South, man.
Everywhere. We can't do it inside because I'm too dark and the lighting don't look good. So we got to do it outside. But then the consequence of doing it outside is all these gnats. So I apologize. But yeah, I think that the consequence of, these young men who feel as though they're not being heard or maybe aren't communicating themselves is they go and do irrational things. Mm-hmm. And it's scary, I don't want to live in a world where someone can just fly off the handle and all they needed was a hug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, so a question for you is, even though you haven't been in a relationship or like your friendships, mm-hmm. Stuff with your parents, how would you have a conversation with someone who's kind of processing and dealing with, bad things in life?
Bad things in life. It's definitely, and someone, you know me very well, right? And I touch on those things because, some bad things happen to everyone. I personally believe in the seek and you shall find method. And what I mean is I will seek to understand your problem. And hopefully in seeking to understand the problem, we find a common ground in which we can speak on, right? Mm-hmm. I never want to push anyone out of their comfort zone if they are going through something, but I want to let them know that I'm there for them. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours last night, Lauren. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, I think for guys, a lot of the time when they're angry, just being there is enough. Like when your boy's not doing good, you just being there and you're not even talking about what's wrong. It's enough. It's just like they feel supported. And then eventually it unwinds into what's going on, mm-hmm. right? But like if I just kept on pushing you, you just be like, I don't want to talk about it. It's I think that's the method I like is, you're there for them. And then eventually when they do want to let the bottom fall out and kind of let you know what's going on, mm-hmm. they will. And if they don't, just keep on putting support there. But I feel as though, actively massaging the situation, and I don't want to say pressing them, but keep on asking them about it. It really kind of makes some people put off and they don't really want to share with you. And they feel as though you're being nosy and getting mm-hmm. into their business too much,
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that, being in their business. I mean, even though you're trying to help, just the way that kind of people process it.
I tell my mom all the time, like my mom is well intentioned, but her delivery is absolute horse fire, like dog shit, man.
Yeah.
And it's delivery. Like if you need to, I think, put yourself in a position where if this was delivered to me this way, would I understand it? And you know what? To be completely fair, and this might be tangential, is I think people need to stop saying, well, how would I want it? I know you very well. You're my best friend. I should know well enough how would Jackson want it, right? Or my younger sister. I should know how would Renee want it. I think the worst thing that some people can do is, well, I would want it like this. That's not good because you're not that person. I think it should definitely be, I know this person well enough. I've communicated with this person. I know this person very intimately. They're one of my very good friends. I know how to deliver the package to them so that they get it on time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I think I want to see more people doing.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I had a great time here with Half Black Jack.
It's always good to be here. Thank you.
And if you guys haven't seen parts 1 and part 2, please follow the link in the description because they'll be in there as well. And also, if you could, give it a like and subscribe if you want to hear more ramblings. Also, go and like my Instagram page, which is, I believe, at Cyril Kanda. There's Jackson's Instagram page, which I believe is action_Jackson305. There's also at Bismuth, which is the company that I run. There's a lot of things. They'll all be in the description. I don't have to say all of them, but I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.